everybody, welcome to Make It with Mod Podge. My name is Cathie and today I've got a whole bunch of hat makeovers to show you. This project is super fun for spring and summer, and all you're gonna need is a basic straw hat and some fabrics of your choice. I'm using these really fun floral chintzes. These are bringing me back to the 80s. They've got some cottage core style going on. I used to work as in the design department at Betsy Johnson, and back in the early 90s we had used tons of these prints, so it's really fun for me to get to work with these different florals again. We're using some different colors. We've got our yellows and our blues and our blacks to create all these different designs. So this one here is just kind of an all-over design that I did on a children's hat. So that's really fun, just small pieces cut out. You can do, on this fedora style hat, I just did one sort of section, so you don't have to do an all-over hat. I am gonna show you how to do an all-over cowboy hat today. And then I love this cool beach hat. This is really fun where we just did the brim, and this beach hat came with that big bow on the back. So there's lots of different ways that you can do this project, and it's so simple. We're gonna use the Fabric Mod Podge formula today. That's the blue label. And let's just dive right in and get started. So I'm gonna be answering questions live during the premiere of this video. Although this project is so simple, I doubt you're gonna have very many questions for me. So why don't you go ahead and just tell me where you're watching from. I'm here in Southern California, and I'm excited to share this with you today. So I've gone ahead and as you can see from my fabric, I like to just cut out a large section, and then I'm gonna do what I call fussy cutting, which is cutting out all those little details just like this. And you wanna use really sharp scissors for this. And so you go in, and I'm gonna speed all this up for you guys. You just go in and you make really quick cuts. You don't have to be perfect because a lot of these are gonna get overlapped. If you see a little bit of that background color of fabric coming through, it's totally fine. And you can see, I hope you can see, I'm not really moving my scissors all the way around. I'm actually kind of moving my fabric with the blade of the scissors. So my scissors kind of staying in one spot, and I'm just kind of moving it around. You want to get in there and get some details. You don't have to be too specific. And when I get to my flower pieces, I kind of just do a bunch of wiggles. And again, I'm really letting the fabric work for me. So just wiggling that fabric around. This fabric I did not pre-wash because I'm not going to be washing these hats. So if you were going to be using the fabric formula on something like a pillow or something where you might be washing it, you would want to pre-wash it. But for these hats, that's not going to be necessary. So we'll go ahead and just see how you kind of manipulate the fabric. Go in, let's catch that stem real quick. Cut that off and just grab this last little part. And these scissors are pretty sharp. You want a sharp pair, and go ahead and boom. So that is a really fast, fussy cut method. I've got lots of details there along the edges, and really just held the scissors and worked the fabric through the scissors. So now we're ready to go ahead and look at some design placements on the hat. This hat came with a little string tie, so I'm gonna go ahead and just take that off of the hat. You will want to do this. Sometimes a hat like this children's hat here came with this trim glued on. So I just wanna show you what I did there. I took my design and I cut it, and I just put it right up to there, and I cut it here, and I glued it right there with the Fabric Mod Podge. So if you can take off the band, if the band is just a string and you can take it off, it's much easier. But if you can't, you would just cut your fabrics and work it right up to that band. Each hat is going to be a little bit different. Okay, so now I've got my hat ready to go. We want to go ahead and, I guess that's the front of the hat, right? We want to start on the front of the hat. And what you'll want to do is just sort of get your first placement down. So I'm seeing that I want to put that one there, but you can tell that if I flatten it here, then that's going to raise up. If I flatten it there, then that's going to be a problem. So you want to go in and just add a couple of snips. And don't worry, all of these snips, once you have this glued down, they're going to just disappear. And you can have it overhang and tuck it under if you want, You don't have to. Okay, let's see. I think we're gonna need one more kind of like up here. Whoops, cut a little bit more off. And maybe one more like right there. So let's see. That looks pretty good. So let's go ahead. We're gonna use Fabric Mod Podge. That's the blue label. And this is for fabric to fabric. But I use it on all kinds of things. I've used it on lampshades, hats, you know, it's endless. So this formula is a lot thicker. Got my label there, here we go. And you can see it is much thicker than regular Mod Podge. And we're gonna go ahead and apply that to the back of our fabric. You don't need to apply this to the hat for this project because we're doing these pieces. But on the hat where I did the brim, I did apply it to the brim and added the fabric onto the brim that way. So it's really, you know, up to the way you're designing your hat. Go ahead and add that there. Get a little bit more. You want to make sure you get all those edges. Now, if you missed a piece, you could always peel it back and add a little bit more. It'd be no big deal. Okay, so now we're ready to go. Okay, let's go ahead and get that laid down. I cannot tell if I have that going in the right direction or not, but it doesn't really matter. Let's see. And I got that little bit of an overhang, so you can just flip that over. And sometimes you may need to add another little slice or two, but I think I'm pretty good. And you can see, once you have it down, those little places where you made the slices, those are just going to end up disappearing. Another good thing to have on hand, because you are working with your hands, is handy wipes. I can't tell you how many times I had to clean the scissors while I was doing this project today. Okay, so we've got our first piece down, and now I want to show you the same kind of concept, but for doing it on this top bump. We're going to do the similar thing, and let's see, we'll kind of line it up like that. And I can already tell I'm probably going to need a little slice right here. So this time, guys, I'm going to try to remember really my placement. And probably going to need a little slice right there. And like I said, if you get your Mod Podge on and you do feel like you need to have a few more cuts in there, you can go ahead and cut it with your scissors and then just wipe them clean right away. The Mod Podge will come right off. So let's go ahead and coat another piece here. I'm just covering it with the Fabric Mod Podge. I am not top coating this design because you really don't need it. If you were gonna be like in a super rainy area, I mean, I'm using this as a sun hat, you could top coat it, but I made one of these a couple of years ago without top coating, and I wore it for a very long time with no problems. Okay, let's go ahead and pick that up and place that. It's a little bit hard for me to see, guys, so I'm hoping I'm getting that in a good position. Go ahead and place that down. You can see where that seam is. See, that's where I made the cut. So you can kind of even overlap that a little bit, and that will help you get over any of these curves. Go ahead and flatten. You can sort of move it. So like right here, might go in and do another little cut. You can flatten it and then just go in and sort of overlap where you need it. You definitely need one. See up here, you've got this kind of valley. Let's go ahead and do a cut. Press that down and then just overlap that over. And once this is all done, these little overlaps like right here, they all just disappear. It all just kind of blends together and blends away. So now at this point, you're ready to just go ahead and continue adding all of your floral cutouts. And I'm gonna go ahead and add those and fast forward the video so we can get to the final result. Okay guys, I think we are pretty done. And one of the things I love about this project is you could cover the whole hat if you wanted to, like I did here on the rim, but I really love seeing the bits of the hat popping through. So at this point, I'm ready to let my hat dry. I like to let this dry overnight, and then I can replace my trims or any of the bands. You can even create your own band for it. I've done these before with an old belt, or you can braid up some yarns and create a cool new brim for it. But that's how quick and easy it is to be able to take an old straw hat and create something really cool and fun for spring and summer. Now on this one, this gorgeous beach hat, I love how it turned out so much, and I went ahead and I did a picture tutorial for this hat, so I'm gonna go ahead and share that with you right now. See how easy that was? And the design ideas are endless. If you're not into these florals, go ahead and pick the fabrics that you love. I could see these so many different ways, especially these kids ones. You can create it with any kind of comic or character theme fabrics. It's really, really, really endless. And one more thing I want to tell you is don't worry, no scissors were harmed in this video. They're all cleaned up and ready to go. And if you look at our hat here, it's got these little grommets where our string would go through. So once this is dry, I would use the pointy end of my scissors or a toothpick or something just to poke that through. But you want to make sure that you wait until that's dry because you don't want your fabric to pop off of your hat. Look at how cute. I cannot wait to wear this to the beach. Let's review really quickly. For our little children's hat here, I use this great sweet chintz there with the polka dot background, and we did an all over design just by cutting those out. Same technique, and remember what I showed you at the beginning with this band. This band was glued on, so we just cut the fabric there, started it, and then started it back up on that band. And for this fun fedora style, I really just wanted to do one little section. I knew we were gonna be doing this all over design, so I thought let's do one where we just see a little hint of it. Just like that. Now you could add more to this or less to this. You could even add a little bit of your Mod Podge glitter formulas or add some rhinestones, whatever you want to do. I cannot wait to get this one on. It's still a little wet, so hopefully it doesn't glue to my head. Thanks you guys so much for joining us today. Remember, we'll be back next Thursday. Make sure that you use the hashtags Plaid Crafts and hashtag Mod Podge so we can see what you're making. And we will see you next time. Bye guys.